Good morning, Year 6, and welcome to Friday, the 12th of February's literacy lesson. So today is a free writing lesson. So you should have a booklet in there with a picture of Toothless and Hiccup on from How to Train Your Dragon, and it's called Hiccup Meets Toothless. So the first thing you need to do before you carry on with this video is watch the clip on YouTube that will have been emailed to you. It's also on the front of it's also in your home learning overview as well. And if you're failing all of those things, the link is there. If that doesn't work, then just type into YouTube, How to Train Your Dragon, the Forbidden Friendship. Pause this video while you watch the video with YouTube. And before you do pause the video, you are going to be writing about this video today, so you might want to keep it open and keep watching it a couple of times so you've really got the understanding of what happens. Okay, pause this video now. Alright then, so we're going to write a short piece of writing about that scene today, and on the front of your booklets you've got three possible things that you can do. So the easiest thing to write about is a diary entry from the point of view of Hiccup, that's this guy, when he first meets Toothless. So a slightly harder thing to do is write from the point of view of Toothless meeting Hiccup for the first time. But you have to remember that Toothless knows that Hiccup trapped and injured him, but he did also free him earlier on in the film as well. Okay? The hardest thing to do is to pretend that you are a newspaper reporter and you have followed Hiccup to this clearing here, and you've seen him feed a dragon. Now, it's forbidden for Vikings to be friends with dragons at all. So the person writing the newspaper article might have to write it from a very negative point of view, blaming Toothless and labelling a failure to the Vikings, or they could be more positive, saying maybe we misunderstood dragons. It depends how well you know the film. Okay. So the first thing you need to do today is make a plan. So I'm going to choose this trickier one today, and I've made a very short plan about what I'm going to write about. So remember, you don't have to write about the whole video, you can write about part of it. And I'm going to write about Toothless seeing Hiccup and remembering him as a bad person. Toothless remembers he's the person who injured him as well, but then he sees food, and he eats his food, sees if he has more, and then regurgitates his food, so he sicks it up, and makes Hiccup eat it, and then copies Hiccup's smile, but gets angry as Hiccup tries to pet him. So I'm not writing the whole video, I'm only going to write up to that bit there. Okay? Now, as I'm writing from the point of view of a dragon, I've got to think very carefully about the language that I would choose that would make it sound like a dragon has thought it. Okay? So just a quick look through our must, should and could. So we should be punctuating sentences with capital letters and full stops, question or exclamation marks at the end. So we're going to be describing the scene with adjectives and similes, short snappy sentences to build suspense, using show not tell to describe the feelings of characters, using a range of conjunctions to extend sentences, use dialogue to advance the story as well. And that's the last one. Right, okay, so I'm going to leave that there and switch over to the visualizer now. So, this top line is the line for your title. So let's just make sure we can all see that. Right, so I'm going to call mine Forbidden Friendship. Oh, spell that wrong. So my title's going to be Forbidden Friendship. Let's see. If I just turn the light on quickly, does that make it easier to see or harder? Not really. Right then, okay, so just remind myself of my plan, I'll finish faffing about with that. Right, so I'm going to start off with Toothless seeing Hiccup. Now, Toothless has not been able to fly out of the little dip that he's stuck in, nor has he been able to eat anything, so he's obviously very hungry. So that's how I was going to start my story. So I'm going to start it with an onomatopoeia. a very bad one at that. Rumble, rumble. Because I wouldn't know the sound that a dragon's stomach would make. I'm just going to try something, writing this on something dark, because that might be easier to see. Slightly better, I suppose. Rumble, rumble. Now, as I'm writing from the dragon's point of view, I'm going to try and keep it hidden that I'm writing as Toothless for as long as possible. Or maybe drop small clues in. My stomach rumbled. I was so hungry. But annoyed that I couldn't catch anything to eat. I was trapped. Short sentence there. Trapped, and then a bit of repetition. Trapped like a worthless ground creature. Now, writing from the point of view of a dragon, the dragon's obviously intelligent, Toothless obviously intelligent, but that's a little clue there. Trapped like a worthless ground creature, okay? Now, that's a little clue to the reader. It was then that I could smell it. The delicious aroma of fish, and it was getting closer. And now I'm going to put a little bit of speech in, so just to remind us there, I'm going to put a little bit of speech, the dialogue to advance the story. I've used short, snappy sentences already. Haven't used any conjunctions yet. And show, not tell, not used that just yet. I might use that in an interesting way later on to describe Hiccup though. So now I'm going to put some speech in. Where are you? Question mark there, closed speech. Whispered a strange voice. Slowly and uncertainly, now I'm describing him watching Hiccup climb over his shield and into the clearing. The bad person climbed over his shield and into my prison. What did he want this time? I stayed still. Actually, let's change that. So, quietly, comma, I stayed still, comma, hoping he wouldn't see me. I'm going to put a little ellipsis. Now I'm going to describe Toothless seeing the fish. Suddenly, I saw what he had in his hands. I put an exclamation mark. My tummy rumbled louder. My mouth watering like a fountain. A little bit of a simile there. My mouth watering like a fountain. I couldn't resist any longer. So in that bit there, my tummy rumbled loud and my mouth watering like a fountain. I couldn't resist any longer. Is using show not tell to describe how he, like his hunger at seeing what he's got in his hands. I couldn't resist any longer. Creeping quietly, I moved towards the bad person and the enormous, juicy fish he was holding. Full stop. Now I'm going to start a new paragraph. So I'm going to start with a conjunction opener this time. So I'm going to go, when he saw me, his eyes grew wide and he cowered backwards into I'm just trying to think of a word for rocky. Or into, let's change it to into the rocky boulder. Gingerly. So if you do something gingerly, it's like very slowly and scaredly. Gingerly, he held out the delicious fish. I couldn't believe my eyes. Was he giving it to me? I couldn't believe my eyes. Was he giving it? Was he giving it to me? There we go. I couldn't believe my eyes. Was he giving it to me? Question mark. Impatiently. Actually, now let's go with ravenously. Ravenously. I devoured the tasty fish. With great speed. Ravenously, I devoured the tasty fish with great speed. I wonder if he had any more. If he has more. Question mark. Maybe he's not so bad. Maybe he's not such a bad person after all. ... Right, I'm going to leave mine there. Okay. Right, so now I've done that, just to remind you, you need to be getting all of these features into your writing, otherwise it's just going, if we just focus on sentence after sentence, we're not going to get the best possible writing out of us. Try and get in some show not tell today. Very easy to do that with Hiccup being scared, Toothless being wary or hungry. Dialogue's very easy to advance the story today. This one's a little bit harder to do, but go for a conjunction opener. And just remember as well to use those different I-spaced openers. So you have an ingly opener, ing or ly, not an in. Right, preposition. So that's like where something is. So it could be under, on top of. Okay. Adverb openers should be really easy. Conjunction openers, we should know how to use those as well by now. I-spaced. Oh yeah, ED openers, so emotion openers. So starting off with something like terrified. Okay. Oh, I've missed out the S. Simile openers as well. So using like or as in those. And then D, I like dialogue openers. Using dialogue to start a story is always a very good way forward. Obviously, if you're writing a newspaper report, you won't be able to use dialogue as an opener. You should be able to get in other things as well. I wouldn't use simile if you're doing a newspaper report, though. It won't lend itself to it very well. Okay? And then when you've finished writing, don't forget your quick editing. All right, right. Well done, Year 6, for this week's work, and I will see you next Monday.